Hello friends and welcome to another drawing tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to be drawing my character Gemina. My name is Taylor Payton of artmaxion.com and taipeiart.com, and the character Gemina Flynn is from my personal project, Satellite Psychic Saga. You can find out more about Satellite Psychic Saga by going to taipeiart.com, but let's talk about the figure drawing right now. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going in and generating a pose, a very gestural pose using what is called a mannequin. A mannequin is something you do to augment your workflow by getting down all the construction of your figure, the pose, the proportions, the anatomy, the weight and balance, things of that nature, in order that you can then start drawing a really messed up face over it. So the first face I draw at this angle is super goofy because it's an angle that I'm unfamiliar with and thus couldn't capture my first time trying, and so the first face I draw ends up not being the face I go with, but you'll see me fix that later. Anyway, after you're done with the mannequin, you usually just use it as a basis or guide to continue your drawing process. There are a lot of artists that have gotten really comfortable in certain poses and certain characters and shapes and lines that they've been able to memorize them and can thus do what looks like a completed drawing without doing a mannequin. But I always suggest it if you're trying to do something that is a little more technical, a little more out of your comfort zone. It's just really good for trying a lot of different poses and elements before actually going on to doing things like cloth and some of the subtle line work that you'll find on the contours and within the silhouette of a character. So when it comes to line work, if you want to learn more about that, you can check out the Artmaxion Ascent bundle or Artist Ascent bundle, and that is also on taipeiart.com. There's a whole page letting you know all the awesome stuff that I've packed into that, not the least of which is my best-selling beginner drawing course, which talks to you about the various types of line I'm using here, like curved lines, straight lines, things of that nature. And those permit you to get a better understanding of line and thus have a better time drawing because your vocabulary has been expanded, and it permits you to create at freer levels that are less hindered by a lack of know-how. So it's good to know those types of lines and which ones to deploy at which instance on your journey to creating a piece that you're pleased with. So this character here, I'll tell you a little bit more about Gemina. She has wind powers. Her abilities are based mostly on being able to create vortexes. I'm not sure if maybe vortices is the plural of that. You can correct me in the comment section, it's whatever. And she, despite her sort of airy powers, is a very fiery individual. So in the midst of the story, she's one of the main three that has to go on a series of missions to get to the bottom of what caused a traumatic psychic event. And there's my previous drawing of her from 2016 that I'm updating now. It's a different style, different look, but the essence of the character is still the same. And then the portrait drawing you're seeing was made very recently when this video has been put out. It's actually on this very YouTube channel just a couple of videos back if you want to watch that portrait drawing come into being. It'll help you a lot when you're working on the faces of your characters or any character for that matter. My style tends to be sort of a Western Eastern hybrid. It's sort of something I've cultivated over the years. It wasn't a conscious choice. It was just the byproduct of watching a fair amount of anime, studying Andrew Loomis and Vern Hogarth, some of the best Western teachers I could find in books, and also emulating artists like Wesley Burt or even some Ian McKay or Marko Đurđević. I'll put links to all of their work in the description box so you can look them up for yourself, because all of them are phenomenal draftsmen in their own right, and I often go on Pinterest and find their work and just do one-for-one studies, which is basically just trying to replicate the drawing that they've done in order to better understand their thinking. And that's one way you can get way better, well, way quicker. Not passing off their art as your own, of course, because that is morally reprehensible, but utilizing their art as a means to understand the art of drawing better, or the type of artwork that you want to create. You basically just emulate until you get a sense intuitively and logically of the fundamental things that that artwork is comprised of. And that really helps to have a fundamental vocabulary of the types of art that you like, because then you can more effectively break them down and understand what it is that makes them so enjoyable and so beautiful and aesthetic, and then transpose those very fundamentals into your own work, which I find is one of the best parts about being an artist or for learning anything. It's just to understand why you find it beautiful and to take those elements and recompose them and rework with them fundamentally to create something that you can find beautiful, excuse me. You can put out into the world something you like to see. So typically what I do when I'm done with my line art, and like my final line art, is I will go in and do a fill on my character. In the Artmaxion Artist Ascent bundle, there is a illustration where I do a Alice in Wonderland redesign, where she's sort of a abstract, surreal, steampunk version of herself, and this process is much more detailed in that particular tutorial. There's just a ridiculous amount of good stuff in that, so be sure to go to tapeart.com and check that out. There is, painting courses, drawing courses, commission courses, all that good stuff. Basically anything you could want as a burgeoning artist. So while we get to the end of the video, I just want to say a quick thank you to all the new subscribers and a sincere and heartfelt thank you to all the old ones. Be sure to check out the description box for all the stuff that I mentioned. And if you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up. Really helps the channel, all that good YouTube stuff. Anyway, I want to wish you happy creating, and I'll see you in the next video.